this has never happened to me before, so the first thing I've got to do is take a picture of all you guys, and then I'll get on from where you are. So bear with me. That's one for the ages, for my ages anyway. Hey, this is really an honor, and honestly, I'm way more than a little surprised to be up here before you this afternoon and to be an inductee into the Pima County Sports Hall of Fame. This is a great moment for me. It's amazing that for over 30 years, the Hall of Fame has shined light on so many women and men who find joy and fulfillment in sports pursuits here in Southern Arizona. And I really have special thanks for Pat and Kathy, who really kind of took me by the hand and shepherded me through this process over the last couple of weeks. So thanks to you and the entire Hall of Fame. You guys do great work. Really appreciate it. Well, I was a rock climber, and even as a teenager growing up here in Tucson, for some reason the attraction of the nearby mountains and rocky cliffs were always irresistible to me. It was kind of hard to learn how to rock climb. I mean, this would have been back in 1966, something like that. There weren't many climbers around, and they didn't want to talk to me anyway. But my training regimen got kicked off rather abruptly when I got trapped climbing with my boyhood friend on a cliff up on Mount Lemmon, and I got stuck in the middle of the cliff and had to just cry out for help. I ended up being rescued by an intoxicated cabin owner nearby who rushed to the closet in his cabin and grabbed a handful of clothesline, literally clothesline, went to the top of the cliff and tossed it over to him and said, "Hey, grab onto this thing, I'll haul you up." I survived that experience, but shortly thereafter, my parents wisely enrolled me in a climbing technique school in California, and that's kind of when things really sort of took off. Rock climbing is most certainly a game, and like most games, the basic idea is to attempt to do something in the hardest way you possibly can. And I might add, hey, I'm a big fan of football. I'm a spectator of football. I love watching it, but let's face it, football is a similar game. There are certainly far easier ways to take an inflated pigskin and move it across a chalk goal line than trying to run the thing past 11 enormous, strong, and determined opponents that are trying to just crush the life out of you as you go down the field. So there is a commonality there. I can't really give any logical reason for why I think rock climbing is such a great thing to do, but I got a couple of quotes I found when I was working on this earlier today. Let's see, this one's from Andy Rooney, of all people. He said, "Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it." I like that, that's true. Outdoorsman and author Greg Child says, "Somewhere between the bottom of the climb and the summit is the answer to the mystery of why we climb." You kind of get the idea here. I have no idea why I like climbing, and that sort of fits right in there. But my favorite is from a man named Stuart Green. He says, "Climbing may be hard, but it's easier than growing up." I had the great fortune of finding a small group of rock climbing enthusiasts when I attended Catalina High School. I graduated in 1970 at Catalina High. And there's just a handful of us, 4 or 5 of us, and we found ourselves in the middle of a rock climbing paradise here in Southern Arizona, which has really ended up being one of the finer rock climbing areas in the entire United States, believe it or not. And back then, in '69 when we started, there were maybe several dozen, 20, 30 climbs that had been established in Pima County and explored by other climbers. We sort of got after it. We had a 15 or 20-year run that was just absolutely magnificent, exploring and establishing all these great routes all across the southern part of the state. And today, Southern Arizona has thousands of established climbs, probably 3,000 or 4,000. I wouldn't even venture to want to guess. And every year this attracts attention of local climbers, of course, but you may not know that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of climbers from all over the country and the world every year come right here to Southern Arizona to enjoy this fantastic, beautiful, and rich outdoor setting that just surrounds us. Hey, that's all I got. I want to thank the Hall of Fame again, and thank you all for bearing with me on remarks, and I will treasure this picture for the rest of my life. Thank you so much.